Hey, this is episode 9 of Manga Origin, where I talk about a random series' volume 1. And in this episode, I'll be talking about the first volume of Air Gear. Okay, technically the first 3, because I read the first omnibus, which had 3 volumes in it. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, to start this video off, I'll briefly mention everything that happened in the first 3 volumes. Firstly, the manga starts out with us seeing some dude get body slammed to the floor. The person who did that is the main character called Iki, or I suppose that's his nickname. Right after that, his sister comes to take him back home, which she does. Later, he gets tricked to go back there and there's a group of storm riders waiting for him. He runs away, but then he grabs someone and holds them in the chokehold. But right after that, he gets picked up by that same guy and almost gets body slammed to the pavement from the sky. Stopping right before the impact, the riders make fun of him for being so scared. But then they notice that he pissed himself and they call him disgusting and beat him up. Seeing that they are using girls or taking girls hostage, Iki tells them to stop. And because of that, they beat Iki up even more to shut him up for good. They beat the fuck out of him and humiliate him. After he wakes up, he goes home and cries. Seeing this, his sisters get him a pair of air tracks as a gift, because it turns out that his sisters are a part of some squad called the Sleeping Forest, and they subsequently give him an emblem of the Sleeping Forest, making him a part of it. And pretty much right after he gets the emblem, he goes and has a duel with the leader of the Storm Riders with their emblems on the line, which Iki, using a clever trick, wins. Next, Iki is interested where his sisters go out at night, so he follows them, but he can't keep up. So he asks a steward if they had seen them, and a grandpa leads him to some hole with tons of storm riders in it. He somehow gets out and leaves, and goes home, where he finds his sisters just sleeping as if nothing happened. Next is the arc that I probably like the most from what I've read so far. It's the Dokkan arc, or I guess the arc where the main antagonist just loves using Dokkan. I really like this arc personally, and I really like the antagonist, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And finally, the last arc in this volume is the fight against Fatsubuka, which it had a really interesting build up, but the way Iki won was a little bit bullshit to me. Also, Buka just having the ability to lose weight is complete bullshit. I mean, I anticipated for him to have some special power that we hadn't seen, but this was just not it. Also, just the way Iki won, I didn't like it. I understand that everyone was sick of his rule, so he subsequently made a lot of enemies like that. I suppose it was well written, but I just genuinely didn't like it. Alright, that's all that happened, so the next thing to talk about is the good and the bad. Firstly, I want to continue about the Dokkan thing I mentioned. I really liked the Dokkan character. He seemed fun in real life, and it seemed like his squad really respected him. While the Storm Riders seemed like a squad ruled by power, the Dokkan squad seemed more like they were having fun and that they respected their leaders too, but just for a different reason than the Storm Riders respected theirs. I also liked how Dokkan easily accepted his loss and stuck by his word and gave his emblem away. Even with Iki theoretically cheating, he accepted his loss and respected their deal. The Dokkan guy was great. Now, a thing I disliked. For me, the entire concept of skates is kind of dumb. I mean, I just don't like the idea. Though any sport like that, maybe apart from skateboarding, is very boring. Though I do think the author did a pretty good job at making it interesting and realistic. Next, the paneling and art are both very good, but I'd like to emphasize the paneling part. Of course, good paneling with bad art pretty much means nothing, but good paneling with good art really goes a long way, for me at least. It was really easy to follow along, and I never got confused on what was happening, and I'd like to contribute that to the paneling. The art was also really good. I especially thought that the non-character art was really good, meaning that the background art was at times stunning. Next, another good thing. I thought the characters were actually all very interesting, though there were a few characters that I really think should get some development. I mean, we still know basically nothing about the sisters or this girl after technically 3 volumes. I understand that you have to keep secrets for later in the story, but still, after 3 volumes we know nothing. Okay, sure, the girl, we learned that she works at a shop that sells aircheck parts and that she's a part of the original Sleeping Forest, and that's all. We have to learn why the sisters are no longer a part of the original Sleeping Forest, what it actually is, and way more. And for the sisters overall, once again, we still know basically nothing. And for a bad thing, I really didn't like the ending of the Buka and Iki fight. Like, I understand why everyone is doing what they are, but still, in full honesty, I think Buka, by all accounts, should have won that one. And one last thing before moving on to the next segment, I think there's a big lack of a goal. I mean, right now, I think that Iki's just writing for fun, but it feels like Iki should have, / will have, a goal in the future, as in to at least have the end end goal in sight. For example, Naruto with the Hokage, Luffy with the Pirate King, and so on. But Ikki not having a goal, to me, feels like a bad thing. Because right now, the world of Air Gear seems absolutely huge. That last part was sort of a nitpick, so think of that what you will. Oh yeah, before I forget, I really didn't like the nudity gang. A few times is fine, but it felt like there was nudity in every chapter. Alright, to my first impressions while reading. While I was reading, I really found Kazu's character interesting. He always wanted what's best for Ikki, apart from when he set up to meet up with the Storm Riders, but he didn't really have much of a choice. He tried supporting him even when Ikki didn't really want anything to do with them, because he was the one that set up Ikki, and tried to, at least in part, own up to his mistakes. I think he might be an interesting character in the future. I also thought there were way too many unexplored aspects for the 3 entire volumes. I mean, we basically still don't know shit about the world, as I already explained. So, done right, I think the world building has a bunch of potential in the future, as it feels like the world of Air Gear is setting up so much behind the scenes that we just don't know of yet. I mean, the 8 pillars, I think that's what they're called, feel like the current top of the world, but in reality, I bet there are so many better and more interesting skaters after them that they will just pale in comparison. Alright, to the final segment. Will I keep reading? Well, there are 2 answers to this. The first is no. I refuse to read any more of these terrible physical books. I mean 3-in-1s, and their sizes are the same as normal books. It was terrible to hold to read. So there's about a 2% chance that I will ever read Air Gear physically. But I am considering reading digitally. I liked it quite a bit, and I am interested enough to want to keep reading and see Ikki's story to the end, because I honestly have no idea what the hell is going to happen. Though, from what I've read, Air Gear has a really bad final arc and ending, and not going to lie, that's got me super interested. And also, as a little addition, writing this script has really made me want to continue reading Air Gear. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and this was episode 9 of Manga Origin. And in the next episode of Manga Origin, I'll be talking about an absolutely huge manga that you have about a 99.9% chance of you having read or watched. It's Death Note. Alright, that's it for this video, and once again, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!